Hey, what is going on, guys? This is SMEV Reviews, and today we are taking a look at the newest studio album from singer-songwriter Vance Joy, Nation of Two. Let's get to it. This review ultimately feels pointless for me because I don't think I'm going to really do much with this. Fans of Vance Joy will not be turned off from this album. I mean, it does what he does. But people that didn't really get into him or haven't explored him yet, there's not much to really make me for me to tell them to get them to listen to this album. It's okay, it's not bad by any means, but I just feel like ultimately this review is pointless because there's nothing that's going to come out of it. Regardless, I will still take a look at it and still review it fairly and do my best. Vance Joy, honestly, he has some good qualities about him. His voice, especially in his higher register, which I wish he did more, is actually very powerful and very interesting, and I actually do enjoy it. I can give that to him because it is a very, very nice upper register, and I do actually enjoy it. As I said, I do wish he used it more, but that's fine. It still works with his singer-songwriter feel to use his more chest voice. It just, I think that this higher register sounds better, honestly, and the music is all right. There's nothing bad here. I would never say that it's bad. Maybe a little boring, but not. It's not because it's boring because it's bad or anything. It's just boring because sometimes, I mean, it's all that singer-songwriter, guitar, singer, maybe a drum set kind of sound. And so sometimes, for some people, that does get kind of boring. And I am one of those people that sometimes that can get kind of old. And he does try to mix it up. There is some horns in here, some strings, or some other things that mix up the sound, but it's just one little thing that it can get a little boring, especially near the end, just because a lot of those songs are slower acoustic songs. So it can get a little boring, but even then, it's not bad. It's not, and I wouldn't even say it's bland or anything. It's just, it kind of gets, the formula, and it just kind of gets old by the end of it. But even then, it's like I said, it's not bad. The songwriting's pretty decent. As I said, there's some diverse music, and whenever he uses his higher register, those hooks that he creates with that higher register is really good. Oddly, when he uses that higher register, it seems to be much more catchy and much more interesting to me. And so on those songs that he does that, I really do enjoy them, and they're interesting. And while a lot of the album is focused on just like love songs or love ballads or something like that, it works honestly because that just is kind of his sound, and it works with that singer-songwriter sound. Yeah, some of the concepts or thoughts aren't original or very interesting, but even then I don't really have a problem with it because that's just a singer-songwriter thing, and honestly, it works with his sound. Some weird thing that seems to happen is that there is never a real good rhyme scheme. A couple songs might have a rhyme scheme or one in the chorus, but there never is really a rhyme scheme. And that's not really a problem. I can't say it's a problem, more just a comment that does become extremely obvious, and if that's something that would bother a listener, then that's going to stand out so big near the end because it's not even close rhymes. Most of the rhymes are, if it does rhyme, it's only close rhymes. Hardly ever is it just an actual rhyme. And then most of the time it just doesn't even rhyme. So it could get very grating to someone. I can't say it bothers me too much, but it was noticeable. So it's not the best quality, but it's fine. Another thing about this album is that a lot of the songs stay rather static. Some of them don't. I will give that to them. Some of these songs do have a grand chorus, or the end really picks up and does something crazy and very good. I mean, I'm not saying that this album's bad. There are some actually really good songs, and those are the ones that I'm talking about. But there's also the songs that just don't do anything. It just sticks with acoustic picking, and that's about it. And it's okay. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. But again, the last half of the album is no rhymes, very static music that just doesn't, he never even gets into his higher register really. And it just doesn't really interest me. The first half, probably after like song 8 or something, that's about where this album cuts off. But then there's still 6 more tracks. It's a 14-track album. So I just kind of get bored of it. I think it's 13 actually, but I just kind of, some of the songs just kind of get boring for me. That's all. Alone with Me, We're Going Home, Like Gold, and Saturday Sun, all great songs. They either pick up or just have interesting lyrics. And honestly, just sometimes all I need in this is Vance Joy just to be singing high, because as I said, it really works for him. We're Going Home, that the chorus is so triumphant just because he uses his upper register, and it really works for him. That is what he should be sticking to. And I understand that it would probably get very repetitive and played out if he did it throughout the whole album, but it works. It really does. And so those 4 songs have great hooks and really are good songs. But then there are some songs that just, as I said, just don't do anything. And it's pretty much every song after Alone With Me on the album. It's just not that interesting, honestly. None of them I'd say are bad, but just don't do anything. Crashing Into You is maybe the only song I could say is bad, and that's just because it's mainly about half the song is actual lyrics, and then for about the last half of the song, it's just him singing "Oh" on top of acoustic picking. That's pretty boring. It's just a little instrumental, but it doesn't do enough to interest me, so it's kind of write off. It's like a pop song that has a huge instrumental, kind of like that one Maroon 5 song at the end of their last album. It's like that. It's just not very interesting, but it's not terrible still. It's just not worth listening to. And so this is why I feel that this review is so pointless, because as I said, fans of Vance Joy gonna love it. Of course they will. He sticks to his guns, same kind of thing they did on his first album, but it's just new material, and people that didn't get into him or haven't got into him yet, I just don't have much to recommend. Those 4 songs, great songs, but even then, it's just not something that I could just recommend to everyone. If you like the singer-songwriter sound, yeah, check it out. Besides that, I don't have much to recommend here. I don't know. I want to rate this album fairly. I think that it does still have redeeming qualities. It just isn't the best album I've ever heard. It's fine and it won't get anyone into it, but it's still passable. It's a very neutral album for me. But it's still good. It's still positive. So I am going to give it a 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. What would you guys like to see? Any other reviews or anything to improve my presentation? Just please let me know. Seriously, thank you guys so much. Every one of your comments, views, likes means so much to me, and I read all of them. It really does mean a lot. But what did you guys think of this album? Please let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions. Besides that, I'll see you guys later.